Welcome, friends, to my podcast, giving you a fresh start after trauma. As I continue to teach and encourage you on renewing your mind, I believe it is so important that you trust who you are looking to for that renewal. I pray that my first chapter ministered to you and that you will find some hope in now listening to chapter 2. In this chapter, I will discuss how important it is for you to be grounded in the Father's love. His love needs to be foundational in our lives so that we can have healthy relationships, not look to others to fill a void only the Father can, and then help others come to this knowledge of the truth. So let's get started. Chapter 2, Being Grounded. When we are not grounded in God's love, we are looking for the next best thing to fill a void in our heart. It could be a good thing, but is it a God thing? Putting our faith and trust in a being that we cannot see or have a verbal conversation with can be hard for many people. We want flesh or a human being to talk to for advice and guidance, and we want to respond back. Instead of turning to Abba Father, we turn to people. But the problem when we turn to a person, we may be turning to the wrong person. We may turn to a person that will tell us what we want to hear, or we may turn to a person who cannot tell us what we need to hear. So learning to hear from the Father would be the ultimate, wisest decision we could make. Turning to Abba Father can be hard when we don't know Him, let alone trust Him. When we get to a place of solidifying His love for us, and that love is deeply rooted in our being, we are grounded in God's love. Otherwise, we will try to fill that void of love in other ways. They may seem like an okay thing or even a good thing, but is it truly Abba's best for us? Hungering all my life for love caused me to try to find and create it myself. As a little girl, I would dream of growing up and marrying a tall, dark, and handsome man and having a family. I would fantasize that my husband would come downstairs to the kitchen dressed in a shirt and tie, carrying his briefcase to go off to work. I'd be sitting at the table with my sweet, beautiful daughter in the high chair feeding her. He would kiss us goodbye and go off to work. My life was beautiful. That was my dream, night after night, as I tried to put myself to sleep. What I realized over the years is that I can't make a life on fantasies. Because of my abuse, I felt safe in my mind. I have lived in created fantasies and held on to those for years. When we live in our mind and never learn how to create that dream in the natural, we get stuck living in a fantasy. We want this fantasy fulfilled so badly that when something presents itself to us, we aren't sure if it's right or good for us. We are still in the fantasy of our dream, and we don't look at the reality of the situation. I needed the Lord's wisdom and guidance to remove from my mind what I had created that wasn't true or real. With that being said, I believe living in my mind or my fantasy is what kept me somewhat sane and emotionally intact growing up. I had that dream, that fantasy to hold on to with a sense of hope for what I could have in the future. The only problem was that I left something out of the equation. I tried to have that dream fulfilled in my own way. I left the Father heart of God out of my equation. I didn't seek His wisdom and guidance on who His best was for me as a spouse. My heart yearned to have my dream fulfilled and to be loved and accepted. I couldn't trust anyone to take care of me, let alone Abba Father. That I tried to make my dream a reality. Was this intentional? Somewhat. I always wanted to do the right thing, be the right person, but I also needed to appease my flesh. I needed to relieve the pain that was in my heart and my soul for me to have peace. So instead of laying this dream at the altar and trusting in my Abba Father, the creator of the universe, to put the pieces in place, I did all I could do to make it happen. Was my dream fulfilled? Partially. I did have a tall, dark, handsome husband. He did go to work in a shirt and tie, carrying a briefcase. I even had a beautiful daughter that was the joy of my life. But that's where it ended. My life was not beautiful. It was painful, sad, chaotic, and abusive at times, and truly not the vision I so desired. Sadly, this is not the desire the Lord had for me. His plan is perfect. He wrote the book about me before I was born, and I'm sure what he wrote about my life is all beautiful. As I continue to journey with him, they are unfolding before me. But could I have done something different? I don't know. I was a child when I created that fantasy, a child with a wounded, hurting heart, and needed someone to plug up the hole in my heart and stop it from bleeding. Because I was given the wrong message about God and truly didn't understand what Christ did for me, I felt like I had to protect myself, take care of myself, and find the life I wanted by myself. I had learned to take care of myself because I felt no one else would. I believe it is so crucial to have the love of God grounded in your heart and to truly understand his love for you. When the word says to fear the Lord, it's not about being afraid of him. It's about having a reverence and respect for him, to love him with all your heart. Think about it. When you love someone with all your heart, you would do anything for them. You wouldn't want to hurt them. You would want to bring them joy. Well, your Abba Father wants to give you joy, and in turn, you will want to give your life back to him. As of the writing of this book, I've been divorced for 15 years and I have not dated since. There are brief moments that I wish I had a partner to share my life with, but I have to say they are truly brief. I needed to have my heart healed. I have never had a man in my life that treated me the way the Lord desires. My first relationship and love of my life started at 15 and lasted 6 years. He broke my heart by cheating on me all 6 years. He played in a band and traveled more than he was home, so cheating came easily. When I would confront him with my suspicions, he was a great liar and was able to get himself out of it. But deep in my heart, I sensed he was lying. But my wounded heart didn't want to go there. It would just prove I'm unlovable. Finally, one day the truth was exposed. He couldn't lie his way out of it. Also, he would not be traveling anymore, and it would have been hard for him to keep up the lies. So he dumped me. It was devastating. It was truly heartbreaking for me. I found it hard to function some days. You see, this was the first person who has ever said they loved me. At age 15, I never heard the words, "I love you," from anyone, not even my parents. I also grew up believing you did not enter sexual relationships with anyone other than your spouse. I stood strong in that until this first relationship. I was manipulated into giving up my virginity, but bottom line, I gave in. I justified this because he loved me. We will get married one day. So now, not only did I give up a part of me that I truly held sacred, but I also lost the relationship I thought would be my marriage partner. If I was grounded in the love of Abba Father and knew that he was there for me, I probably never would have ventured into that type of relationship. So now I'm single. I have left it at the altar and know that if the Lord desires me to have a relationship, he will bring that person to me. I also know that my heart needed to be fully healed and made whole before I could have a healthy relationship. And that's the point. Without being grounded in his love, dedicated to having a relationship with him and trusting his will be so hard to have a true, lasting, and healthy relationship with a spouse. There could be struggles and chaos. Spend time getting your heart healed and made whole. That's why Jesus came, walked this earth, died on the cross, and rose again, so we can be made free, whole, and in his image, and be reconciled to the Father. I so desire that for you.